I know I look awfully disheveled right now, which is extremely unprofessional, and that's uncharacteristic of me, so I do apologize for the lack of professionalism. I look like a time traveling caveman who just got out of the machine and is curious on what year it is. But there's a good reason for it, I'll briefly explain. I play pickup basketball every Thursday night. I'm getting absolutely filthy. I wouldn't be surprised if I got recruited into the NBA over the next couple years, but that's besides the point. After the pickup basketball game this evening, I hopped on Twitter for the first time today and noticed something huge. Susan has stepped down as CEO of YouTube. This news kind of came out of nowhere. I haven't been this surprised since I was a child and learned that chocolate milk didn't come from brown cows. Susan has been the CEO of YouTube for the last 9 years, but she's been at Google for 25. And now she's hanging up her dancing shoes and stepping away from the company. However, she is still taking on an advisory role to Google and Alphabet, as I understand it. She did post a statement going into detail, just kind of like a swan song on the way out, going over the years and the progress that the platform has made. Really, the whole post feels almost like a YouTube rewind. You know, at least the closest thing we've had over the last couple of years since they canned that whole thing. It's just a look at YouTube and what's happened since she's taken the helm. And her future plans aren't revealed at the moment. We don't know. It could be anything. You know, maybe she fucking announces an NFT project. You know, anything's possible. But there is one thing we do know. YouTube is going to have a new CEO. And most people are pretty pessimistic about it for good reason. Now, I know a lot of people have criticized Susan, and rightfully so. There's plenty of things that you can point out as being suboptimal, and a lot of things that didn't ever get fixed that needed fixing, and changes that should have come but still haven't come. There's plenty of things that you can critique. But I have always maintained that at least Susan knew what was going on the platform. She'd talk to creators, even though it pretty much fell on deaf ears. Anytime a creator gave her advice, YouTube would kind of wipe their ass with it, it felt like. She at least talked to them. She'd sit down and talk to some creators. She would post about YouTube frequently on Twitter. She seemed proud of the platform and would actively talk about YouTube, which is more than you could say about a lot of tech CEOs in the business. And the example I always use is Twitch, with our beloved Emmett Shear. I'm convinced this guy doesn't even know he's the CEO of Twitch. He seems genuinely embarrassed to even be associated with it. When you go to his Twitter bio, it's the last thing there, and he kind of downplays his involvement by just saying he's working on Twitch. The guy is literally the CEO of the platform, but I don't think you could find a single tweet he's made about Twitch. And he's never really made any appearances on Twitch. He doesn't talk about it or anything at all. I've only ever actually seen him one time to confirm he's a human being, and it was on a stream where he seemed kind of out of it, like he was either drunk or on Xanax, and he just didn't have any clue what he was talking about when he was mentioning the platform. I'd place a wager that Emmett couldn't name a single streamer on Twitch right now. So at least Susan seemed to know what was going on the platform and actively engaged with it, even though she didn't really fix a lot of shit, and even though there was a lot of mismanagement, like at the very highest level, at the at the very least, she talked about the platform. She did identify problems, though falling short on fixing a lot of them, and they did roll out good features under her belt while also rolling out some stinkers. So it wasn't like the perfect reign, but it wasn't the worst either. There's always been plenty of room for the platform to get shittier, and hopefully that won't be the case with the new CEO. I'd like to believe that it'll only improve, but time will tell. I'm going to try and remain optimistic on the future of the platform, though I do want to mention something in regards to the timing of Susan stepping down. I don't know how many of you know about this currently, but there is an extremely important legal battle going on right now called Gonzalez versus Google. And the outcome of this litigation could completely change not only the entire landscape of YouTube, but the internet as a whole. Legal Eagle actually just posted a video going over this case in detail, and I can't recommend the video enough so you get a sense for exactly what's going on and the severity of it. I'm going to break it down into its most basic form. YouTube had a problem where it was recommending ISIS videos, extremist content to users. And what ended up happening is it radicalized some users and it led to a legitimate terror attack. And this put this whole problem on display and has led to this lawsuit, which is now getting into very, very dangerous territory with something called Section 230. That's as far as I'm going to go in the breakdown, but Section 230 is instrumental in the internet landscape. Without it, the internet doesn't function as it currently does. It gets a lot worse in many, many, many different ways. Check out Legal Eagle's video on the case, but the reason why I'm mentioning this is because this has YouTube in its crosshairs. Google entirely, but the problem stemmed from YouTube. And now Susan steps down during this extremely crucial period. That's setting off alarm bells for me. Now, I know Susan's not going to court with, like, a sword and a shield ready to do battle for YouTube. She's not a fucking lawyer, right? I know she's not the one actually tackling them in the court of justice for the fucking WWE SmackDown Gonzalez vs. Google, but she is the public-facing company. She is very high up in the company, obviously. She is a senior leadership position. So during a moment like this kind of huge deal, I would expect her to want to be there to fight for it, to be there and lend her 25 years of experience and expertise in the field to help navigate these waters and to try and make things smooth and get the best outcome here. So her stepping down during this is a little weird to me, and maybe it's because I'm a little naive on the exact structure of YouTube as well as how Google compartmentalizes it. Like, maybe she really would be completely worthless in this case and would offer no valuable insight, but I just find that hard to believe since the problem stemmed from her neck of the woods, YouTube, which she's the CEO of. I feel like she would have the deepest insight and understanding in order to help with the case, but maybe that's not how it works. I just still find the timing to be a little concerning given the severity of the Gonzalez vs. Google case. But anyway, back to talking about the future of the platform. We are going to see a new CEO enter into the Thunderdome here, and I'm very curious to see exactly how they're going to perform. I'm hoping it'll be great, but it remains to be seen. They've got a lot of work to do. Are we going to see really sweeping improvements? Like, are things going to be getting fixed? Is the new CEO going to be focusing on fixing broken things like the manual review, the algorithm for flagging content, shit like that? Or are they going to be focusing on improving features that are still kind of busted? Maybe are they going to focus on implementing new features that are good, that I don't even have any conception of, like any possible fucking idea on? I will say the beauty of someone new stepping in as a CEO right now is there is an easy layup they can make that would instantly earn the trust of the entire community. Just an absolute fucking free bread basket. Bringing back dislikes. It's that simple. You can still see dislikes through an extension, so just turn them back on publicly. That would instantly be an incredible change that would set the entire tone of the new CEO's reign as, the top dog here. It would showcase to the community that the CEO can recognize issues, can see community feedback, and actually take it into account when going forward. Bringing back dislikes is the number one thing this new CEO can do instantly to get off on the right foot and have a very strong start. Are they just going to be good changes, or are we going to see them double down on some horrible ideas, like when they floated the idea of doing fucking NFTs on YouTube? Or how about that timeless classic when they required you to have a Google Plus account in order to comment on the platform, which was an absolute burning bag of dog shit of an idea? Like, are we going to see more ideas like that are just overwhelmingly horrible and terrible? But yeah, anyway, we'll just have to wait and see how the new CEO performs. Hopefully it's great, big wet sloppy kisses all around, the platform improves entirely, that'd be ideal. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about it. That's about it. See ya.